I had such a great day yesterday.
You did?
Yay.
I'm just saying that because I know Kyle's day was sideways.
Oh my gosh.
What happened?
It just started sideways. As I was driving into work, I had somewhat of a scary moment. This huge thing just popped up out of nowhere, came and like slammed on my hood and then bounced off. And I was like, oh my gosh, what was that?
Freeway or
On the freeway. Yeah. And when I got to work, I noticed this like huge black spot on the car. And I'm like, cool. So I drove home and like on my way home, I'm like, I need a car wash anyways. Maybe it'll just wash off. Who knows? It wasn't dented. It's just like a mark. It didn't wash off. And I get home and I call my husband and I'm like, this sucks. Cause like I keep my car messy inside, but it's like, I don't want it to be trashed. And he's like, I have something for that. And he walks into this little area in the garage, gets this little black bottle and a washcloth. And he starts like swirling this stuff onto the black mark. And all of a sudden, he lifts it up and poof, it's gone.
That's cool.
I mean, at the car wash, I tried to wipe it off my hand more.
Mm-hmm.
Like it wouldn't go anywhere. And all of a sudden, he brings this magic potion and it's gone. It's amazing. So
your husband, by the way, with the history of you in cars, like when she says, I got hit some on the freeway, he had to be like, mother of God. I mean, you've curbed so many wheels.
He thinks that car's bad luck,
Yeah,
I'm sure.
cracked windshield.
he wants me to get rid of my car so
prepared.
bad.
And I gotta say too, like I saw your story on Instagram when you posted it. He didn't just lift the washcloth off. It was so funny. I laughed out loud. It was like, voila. Like a magician.
Yes, literally like a magician. And then this is happening and this is what's stressing me out. Meanwhile, he's having maybe the worst day ever. So he works from home. So his computers are what he relies on to get his job done. And a computer of his totally crashed. And I usually never see him more stressed than when he has computer problems. So that happened. And then our internet goes out.
Oh, that's
so
the worst.
any backup he had going on wasn't working.
Oh, no.
Then, so he's in the middle of something where it's like you had to get a credit check. And it came back, and normally he's got great credit. It came back with like these 2 dings on it from Xfinity Mobile for $7,500. We don't have Xfinity Mobile, never had Xfinity Mobile, don't know where this came from, that it's already in collections and already on his credit report. So I know he's having like somewhat of a stressful day. So I get on the phone with this collections agency and I try to get to the bottom of it. Turns out someone in Maryland stole his identity, literally stole his identity, opened up a credit card in my husband's name, went to Xfinity Mobile, not only opened a phone account, but an internet account. That's another thing on the credit, and got 8 iPhone 15s.
Whoa.
8 iPhone 15s.
And that's not flagged?
$7,500 worth of stuff.
Well,
on
nobody
the
flags that?
There's going to be an
fraudulent
iPhone
credit card.
16 pretty soon, so you'll show them.
Yeah,
And those
they're
are
going to
old.
get it.
Those iPhones are old.
Why
So,
does the
you
fraud
guys-
alert go off? I get my fraud alert when I go get gas down the street.
It wasn't a fraud alert because they opened up a credit card in his name that we had no idea they opened up. So
what happened?
somehow they probably stole his information on the dark web. I spent probably 3.5 hours on the phone with the collections agency. I called Chandler PD, which, by the way, shout out to Chandler PD. They were so incredibly helpful, but we did have to file a police report for identity theft.
Oh my
Spent about
gosh.
2 hours on the phone trying to get Visa to help, trying to get the collections agency to get back on. Like, I just was beside myself and how this, number one, could happen, but then also how apparently no company has an identity theft section of their business. They have fraud, but fraud apparently isn't identity theft. The fraud is either if things are stolen or go missing. And so it's like you have to wait 3 hours to get on the phone with the fraud department, and then they're like, oh, we don't do that. Here's
Oh my
another
gosh.
one.
So what do you do? The government? Like, can the government help you with
Literally.
identity?
So we have to go and report this identity theft and the police report to like the 3 credit agencies, the Social Security
Wait,
Administration.
so the police came to your house?
No, I talked to them on the phone.
Oh, okay. Just for some
Yeah.
reason, I figured, sirens and cops pull up right away. You come up and they're like, what happened?
It wasn't that dramatic, but it did feel
All right,
incredibly
also,
stressful.
I'm trying to picture this conversation. Hi, my husband, his identity was stolen, and his name, it's Scott Fisher. Oh, Fish? It goes by Fish? Actually, that's not his real name. That's his radio name. His real name is Anderson. Scott Anderson. Steve Anderson.
Steve
We're like, and then people on the other line like, what? Are you sure his identity? Why doesn't he figure out who he is and then get back to us? Like, right? Because he's got
Oh
all these
my
different
gosh.
names. And by the way, there's a movie out I was just telling you about it yesterday. It's called Beekeeper with Jason Statham. And it's a crazy John Wick movie, but the part that really will blow you away and make you sick to your stomach is it starts off with this older woman getting scammed and they steal her identity. And when you and they give it to you from the point of view of the person stealing the identity, what it's like, and it'll give you goosebumps and make you sick to your stomach. How
I'm
they
already
do it.
sick to my stomach.
I know, but now you'll see this probably happened to your husband. What's happening in the beginning of this movie?
Oh, yeah, where they just wipe this lady out, too.
Yeah.
In
Yes.
seconds.
The way they manipulate her and talk her into clicking on stuff and giving up access to her computer, and then they just steal everything right away. It'll make you sick to your stomach.
Okay,
it's in the first 5 minutes of the
Do you
movie.
want to know what made me absolutely beside myself, so angry when I was talking to this collections agency? They were like, can you just maybe try to jog your husband's memory of when he could have opened this account? I was like, allegedly this account was opened in May. Do you think my husband would just all of a sudden forget buying 8 iPhones for people? That he doesn't
If you
know?
want to,
No.
you got to be careful, because if you get angry, like I've seen you angry, and then you lose the disconnection, you get disconnected. Wouldn't that suck to have to recall and then you get a new person, have to retell them everything?
Yes. No, the only time that, like, I'm pretty sure, like, I keep my cool and stuff like this, like, but I'm, like, stern because I know how these people are. They're just going to give you, like, the runaround. The only time I got so upset yesterday was when I was speaking to the robocall trying to get to an actual
I'm
person.
sure.
And I was like, speak to
Why didn't you take I gave you that life hack yesterday. You start dropping F-bombs.
I did.
Oh, you
That
did?
didn't work, by the way.
So you're yelling, speak to representative?
I was like, report fraud. It's like nothing was working. I was like, I just need a person.
Oh my gosh, poor Addie and Easton are like, my mom and dad are losing their minds today.
Well, they were having quiet time. They had no idea what was going on.
I kind of wish there was a way that you could have all this chaos going on and somehow be able to make a TikTok dance in the back as the chaos goes in the background. Someone stole my husband's identity, Carol Baskin. Anyway,
Carol
Yeah.
Baskin.
I was just thinking of it.
That was throwback. That was a throwback.
Husband whacked him.
I did. Yesterday I saw somebody make a TikTok, a recent TikTok that we've made. I mean, an old TikTok. So all these old TikToks are in my brain yesterday. But the Carol Baskin.
It's a good
Killed her
one.
husband, whacked him.
That's actually the top TikTok dance in the history of TikTok.
Is it really?
the
Sure
Carol
is.
Baskin.
It was
That does surprise
it
me.
was so huge. We should do it again.
I know, we should.
Actually.